Let's now focus on the environment. Government will not relent to flash out activities of illegal miners. That's according to President Akufo-Addo, who is reiterating his resolve to preserve Ghana's mineral resources and also to minimize the devastating effects of mercury usage in mining across water bodies in the country. Now, mercury, which is a well-known chemical used in gold mining, is said to be hazardous as it contributes to the turbidity of many river bodies, especially here in our country. Now, speaking at a gathering this afternoon to commission the gold catcher, a technology which is believed to address the issues of responsible mining, President Akufo-Addo says his government is not against small-scale mining, except that he wants to be sure that it's being done in a responsible manner.
It is to ensure that mining is carried on in a responsible manner, as was done by our ancestors, and in line with international best practices and conventions across all levels of operations. This will, in addition to helping eliminate the associated negative practices, ensure that small-scale mining supports government's drive to optimize the earnings from mining in pursuit of development, progress, and prosperity for all Ghanaians. When I called for a national dialogue on small-scale mining, I was convinced, and I'm still convinced, that small-scale mining can and should be done sustainably. There are several of our compatriots who are mining responsibly and are employing the protocols that have been established by the Minerals Commission, and government will continue to support them, to offer them its support. However, there are still some who have vowed to seek only their selfish, parochial interests at the expense of the collective national interests. These are those who pay no regard to the sanctity of our forests, water bodies, or environment. Let me assure them, the government will not relent in its efforts to flush them out of the ecosystem. In accordance with Article 36, Clause 9 of the Constitution of the Republic, the government will continue to deploy appropriate measures needed to help protect and safeguard our national environment for posterity. Ladies and gentlemen, in our efforts to help protect the environment, we've had to take far-reaching measures, such as authorizing the involvement of the military in Operation Halt, as well as decommissioning and demobilizing machines and equipment used for illegal mining in forest reserves and water bodies, which have been designated red zones for mining. Far-reaching and biting as these measures have been, they were necessary to halt and reverse the trend of ever-increasing turbidity of our waters and the continuing degradation of our lands, and to safeguard our environment for posterity. But following our heightened drive in recent times to deal with illegal mining activities in red zones, many illegal miners have lost their illegal sources of livelihood. It is to provide legitimate alternative sources of livelihood for such persons that in October last year, I launched the National Alternative Employment and Livelihood Program to mitigate the unavoidable hardships that will be faced by illegal miners. The program is intended to provide good economic livelihood options to illegal mining and its associated activities, and to enable those adversely impacted the opportunity to work and support legitimately themselves and their families. Excuse me. As part of this program, We've rolled out a national reclamation and reforestation project to reclaim degraded lands and transform them into economically viable lands, whilst creating job opportunities for the youth, landowners, and communities at large. We've also revamped the community mining scheme to promote responsible, sustainable, small-scale mining, which will support the Bank of Ghana's recent policy to purchase gold domestically to shore up its reserves and to contribute to the retention of the value of our mineral resources in our country. This morning, we're witnessing another important milestone in small-scale mining and environmental sustainability: the commissioning of 100 mercury-free gold processing equipment, commonly referred to as gold kacha. As the name suggests, it is equipment that extracts gold from the ore without the use of mercury, which has been the practice for several decades. This equipment, I'm told, also has the capacity to recover over 90% of gold from the ore, and therefore gives small-scale miners much more gold than they would have obtained from the traditional method of using mercury.
And joining us now is Abdul Razak Al Hassan, Communications Director for the Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners. Thank you, sir, for your time. So you were there at the event, but first of all, I'm interested in finding out more about the gold kacha technology. Have your members been taken through how it works, and are you indeed in a position to affirm if it's mercury-free?
The listeners, and good evening to all small-scale miners in the country. Yes, it's true. I was at the event, and our members are very excited about this new development. Technology, we are all advancing and trying to see how best we will improve our sector. I think the president and his government promised us new technology because of the Minamata Convention on this gold mercury-free production. So by 2025, I think we will all not be using mercury anymore. And by so doing, we need to adjust ourselves and make sure that we'll come out with a technology whereby we will not be using mercury whilst doing our mining activity. And this last year, the Minerals Commission and the government came together to find this gold kacha, and then they briefed us. They've gone around the whole country, all the mining areas, and they brought a sample whereby some of the areas, Takwa, Tenga, Aboso, those areas, they've even went there, tested this pristine and the rest. And they brought the first 3 or the 5 machines, whereby some of the mining areas are using it now.
Okay, so what you mean to say is that some of the equipment is on test or pilot basis. You're using that for now?
Yes. It was on a pilot basis. They went around to test. And by so doing, whereby they plan some of the community mining products, because this one that they brought is purposely for hard rock, whereby you have the crushers, you have the mills, we have the processing plants and everything. Even the smelting machines are all part of it. So when they did the piloting, we realized that the recovery was very high. And by so doing, we recommended as industry players to government that yes, this is a product whereby we can all use and it will benefit the country as well as the industry. So by so doing, government, in collaboration with Minerals Commission, we, the industry players, came together and the government purchased this 100 of them to come, and then we will then take them and start using them, whereby this this is for using mercury. And mercury is one of the dangerous chemicals that we use in the industry. So those who are not familiar with the usage of mercury, I think this is now the time that they can be free to use this mercury-free called gold kacha now.
But then, do we know about the disbursement? Because government is talking about some 100 different pieces that will be purchased. Do we know how that will be distributed for your members? Or your members would have to buy them?
Please come again.
Do we know if your members would have to purchase these machines, or government is buying it and then subsequently giving it to your members?
It is a company called Commodity Watch I think they've introduced this, and per our understanding and the negotiation that we went through with government, I think they are buying it from this, so that we will then buy them in high purchase. By so doing, our members will then sit with government, will look at all the locations and the necessary processes, and make sure that we will take it and then distribute it to our members, so that they will repay for government to purchase more. Those who are having the strength to buy it outright, fine. If you don't have the strength, the situation will be a collateral with Minerals Commission. Give it out and make sure that we follow due process, monitor your activities, and you pay back while others will then follow. So this is the first 100 that they are bringing, and then we form a committee whereby the Minerals Commission, the association, the ministry are all coming together to see how best the distribution will be done.
Okay, so the point is, how significant will this be in addressing the issue of illegal mining or irresponsible mining, if we may put it in this case?
You see, the difference here is that I think the illegal mining and the response, this ones that government has brought is purposely for this responsible miners, whereby there are those who are having licenses, the community mining scheme that government have launched. These are the products that or the equipment that they brought to them to see how best they can do more efficient mining and responsible mining. As for the illegal ones, I think that's what government has introduced this livelihood empowerment project and those things. And we are seeing how best those who are prospective miners among them, we are also working with them hand in hand to bring them up on board, and so that they will come to the mainstream of responsible mining and do the mining more responsibly. So we are working hand in hand with government, and then we are praying that things will go, when things go on well, illegal mining will be a thing of the past.
And then you had the president there indicating that very often he's misconstrued when he wants to crack down on illegal mining, except to reiterate the point that he's not against small-scale mining. Do you get the same posture from the president?
Yes, the president reiterated that. And in fact, as a country, we are all looking at the future of the nation. And we want to make sure that this industry should not be the industry which will collapse the country vegetation in the near future. I think combating on illegal mining, it is a responsibility whereby we all have to share the responsibility to make sure that people do the right thing. So I think fighting to the matter, we are all in support of it, and that is why we are also educating members and those who are ready to do responsible mining. We are putting more education to them to come to the mainstream and all work together. So, as for the illegal activities, no one is supporting, especially the forest reserve and the river body. We are all drinking water. When you get money, when you even sell your gold, and you have all the gold in this world, you have to still go and buy food, and you have to drink water. So it is a natural thing that we all need to preserve. And by so doing, government retreating its fight against glyphosate. That one, we as an association don't have any problem with that. Ours is to make sure that we do the right thing. And what we are pleading with government now is that I think the licensing whereby the minister himself retreated that yes, he will make sure that he will sign. I think that was one of the heckles which is disturbing us nowadays. But he has mentioned it there, and he made it clear that he will be signing the licenses. When he signed, because you can't be driving without driving license. So sometimes that is where we have a challenge for some time now. Because the illegal miners, when you want to talk, they will ask you those who are claiming to be legal miners, where are your licenses? Because as we speak, apart from Honorable Asmat Treme with Jim, or from 2016, but who owns a license around 2016, you have it's an expired license because it's only 5 years and for renewal. And since this minister came, I think he has been reluctant on signing licenses, not because maybe it's something that he intentionally, because he does more travels, he is so busy, Lands Commission is pulling him, Forestry Commission is pulling him.
Your hope is that he expedites action on the licensing
licensing regime to make sure that we have the licenses being signed, because the Minerals Commission now has put this in place that whereby within 2 weeks your license can be processed. So when it gets to the minister's place, it's for him to sign, and then you operate legally. So we are only praying that he will expedite the license regime, and then everything will be all right.
Let's see how that goes. But Razak, I'm grateful that you've been able to join us here.